All righty, and here we are. So today's class is called Celebrate Growth, Celebrating Growth. And it's playful. This is a bit of an out of the box flow today. And it's really a joyful, following movements, flowing movements. I really encourage you to kind of let go, and there'll be a few moments in here where it might feel a little dance-like, and so if you want to just kind of jam out on your mat, go for it. We're going to work with some asymmetrical shapes. We are going to just play with balance, and I really mean play, and I invite you to play with the edge of balance, and if you fall out, kudos to you. That is kind of our playful edge today. And it's inspired by, this class is inspired by a few things. One is that my birthday is tomorrow, so we've got a celebratory theme. The other is a piece of information from kind of neuroscience around the recognition that neuroplasticity is stimulated when we have experienced a quote unquote failed attempt. So that if we have in some way or another attempted something, didn't get it right the first time, the brain goes into this mode of basically trying to learn from that experience and kind of orient to what do I need to do differently in order to maintain that balance, or whatever this might be, whatever your feeling is. And so we embrace the quote unquote failure as an opportunity to learn. And if you think about children learning to walk, it's a perfect example, right? Like there are so many flops and falls and wobbles along the way, and everything is kind of like wiring in through that journey. So we'll be learning and growing together here. And this is resilience. This is how we grow through difficult times as well, right? And it's ultimately about our willing to try again and again, and eventually we become. So I think in life in general, here's one other little kind of seed I'll plant, is that too often we tend to focus on what's not working or what is lacking or what is missing or what we've done wrong. And those, I know for myself, I've got a critic that can come in and maximize on some of those thoughts and expand them and so forth. But in that, what Rick Hansen refers to as the negativity bias, right? That it keeps us safe at some level to try and determine what might not be optimal or safe, or what's the threat out there, what did I do wrong? But we can sometimes then forget to, as he says, look for the good or celebrate our growth, look for signs of growth. So today's class is about honoring how far we've come. Honoring how far you've come, looking for those signs of growth. With that, I have a really lovely poem to set our theme, and then we'll go into some movement together. This poem is called The Forest. It's by Nikita Gil. And if you're not familiar with Nikita Gil's poetry, I recommend getting familiar. She's lovely. Okay. One day when you wake up, you will find that you've become a forest. You've grown roots and found strength in them that no one thought you had. You have become stronger and more beautiful and full of life-giving qualities. You have learned to take all the negativity around you and turn it into oxygen for easy breathing. A host of wild creatures live inside you, and you call them stories. A variety of beautiful birds nest inside your mind, and you call them memories. You have become an incredible self-sustaining thing of epic proportions. And you should be so proud of yourself, of how far you have come from the seeds of who you used to be. I'm going to shift onto my mat. Let that wash through, and let's move together, shall we? I will name this as I often like to. Number one, props are helpful, right? If you want blocks or a pillow under your knee or a blanket under your knee, we go for comfort because why not, right? This is not a push through kind of event. Number two, listen to your body, honor how your body is giving you feedback. And if I'm ever staying in a shape too long or repeating something for the 10th time, you can opt in or opt out. And I really trust, especially when there's a lot of you and I'm here and I'm not in the room with you, I really, really trust that you are going to listen and really kind of honor that internal wisdom. So we will start seated, as we often do, and in any comfortable shape. The starting of this class, and some of you I know sometimes just come in and do the first 15-20 minutes that are about, kind of waking up the spine and doing some vagal toning and some breath connection. And so you can do this sitting in your bed, you can do this sitting in a chair on your couch, so whatever is comfortable for you. I will invite you to take a moment to rub your palms together as a signal that we are opening our practice more formally, that we're arriving here. Maybe allow your breath to deepen. Maybe if it feels right, letting your spine lengthen. And then slowly, slowly bringing your hands into stillness, sensing and feeling the movement that resides still now inside. The tingling, the sensations of breath or warmth. Perhaps in this pause, tuning into your own intention for what has brought you to this practice and what you are hoping to take away. I will offer up the intention of looking for the signs of your growth and celebrating when you find them. And then if you'd like, bringing your palms over your face and a few sweeping movements here. Maybe across your forehead from the center of your eyebrows out to your temples. You might find some smoothing movements or circular movements. You might even greet your scalp or your hairline. What feels good. This gets to feel good. Maybe moving across your cheekbones, the upper cheeks under your eyes, and you might even follow the lower bony ridge of your cheek at the upper side of your jaw, moving out towards your ears, and you can give your jaw a little bit of love right here, in the joint below your ears. Ooh. Can be tight in there, certainly a bit tight for me. And then maybe give your earlobes a little bit of love. You can roll your ears out. You can roll them in. Right in front of the ears, this cartilage called the tragus. You can give that a little bit of squeeze, self-massage, and a little vagal toning right there. You might even, in the concha, the seashell of inside your ear, draw your fingertips along And you can even drag down on your ears a little bit, like, I'm stretching or waking up, where even the ears can get tight. Ah. All right, let's come to the front of your throat if that feels comfortable, and the back of your neck, a little self massage. Waking up, maybe rotating your shoulders back and forward. Good. And then from there, and I'll kind of take this to the side for a moment, maybe just finding a little bit of a spinal wave, a little spinal movement here. And it can be organic, just feeling how your spine begins to move. And you might keep your hands on your knees just as a little stability, or you might let your arms come into the motion. So that's totally up to you. Just feeling your way into waking up through the whole connection of your sensory motor system. You can even add a little sound to this. Ah, ah. And then coming back into just a pause, a brief moment to sense and feel how your body gives you feedback now in response to the movement. And similar to what we just did, I'll invite you to come a little bit side to side with your spine. And you might kind of find your own rhythm. You might pause in one side, really stretch and reach, or you might move from side to side. And then you can continue to let your hands support this, or you might find a little wiggly movement. You'll hear me say wiggle a lot today, a little wiggly movement side to side, and let your hands be free. And just notice that if one hip comes off the ground and takes you out of balance, that's part of this. You get to choose the range of motion. It doesn't have to look any right way. And you might explore a little side to side. And I will once again let this be a rather open transition as you turn one way and the other. And stretching. And if you want your hands as part of this, you can pause and find that stability. Maybe even reach with your chin or your eyes. And once again, you can find that on the other side, or you might just continue to go with more free form and fluid rhythmic rotations. So you get to listen to your body once again and honor. All right. And with our theme of spinal movements, last one here is going to be some rotational movement. And you can come forward around to the back. And as you see, you can do this without hands, or you might bring hands to knees and use them for support. So finding your range, and you might find very little circles or bigger circles, and you can go the other direction. You might imagine here you're stirring a big soup pot. Getting all of those spices mixed in, finding just the right savory combination. Okay. And then once again, back to center, a brief pause to allow what gets stirred up, just like a snow globe that we've been shaking, and just allow that to settle back down for a moment. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to come into your legs a little bit, and we'll start with the joints. So an invitation to pick up, I'll start with my right leg and just rotating ankle in one direction and the other. Some of my most favorite movement integration are these joint rotations. We'll go into the knee and just taking your shin in one direction and the other. And then if you'd like a nice wide hold on foot or ankle and knee, and using your hands to take your leg around the hip joint in one direction and then the other. And from here, with a few options. So I'm going to invite you to either take ankle or foot. You can also use a strap for this, and just explore kind of opening your leg to one direction and then across your body. So there's a little bit of a twisting action in the spine, and you can keep your leg bent or you can lengthen, just depending on your body. And there's no right or wrong. There's no way for this to optimally look. I want you to really listen in. Good. Okay. And all of these are relatively short explorations. From here, right leg can come to the earth for a moment, and like a wave, just sweeping forward and back with your upper body. You can use your hands as a way to wake up sensation in your right leg, sweeping down and back up. And even these, kind of touch invitations are optional. So if I ever offer something and you're like, no, not for me, then honor that too. Forward and back. And then perhaps coming in towards your side body, lean towards your right leg and out and in. And again, it's okay for left hip to lift up off the earth, and you can just explore that range of motion. We're not here in any of these shapes too long. That's just a wake-up call. All right, we're coming back to center, and we're going to switch sides. So if you'd like, left foot, rotating around your ankle in both directions. And around your knee as you swing your shin one way and the other. Little celebratory play. This will come in handy when we come into some other versions of these same rotations. All right, finding some nice broad circles of your hips one way and the other. And then maybe that reach and stretch and reach and stretch. You don't have to fully lengthen out your leg. You can do this with a bent. Beautiful. And then let's extend left leg to the earth, and a few wave-like motions coming towards the shore of your foot and receding away. Maybe your hands greeting contact with your skin, just kind of waking up. Sensory experience. You might even massage your foot if you reach down there. Can feel so good. And our side body lean. and away and towards. Backing off, diving in, and lifting up again. Okay. From here, invitation is both feet in front. I'll show this one from the side. And now perhaps, and you can use your hands to start or keep them the whole time, just setting both knees to one side, through center, and then the other way. So my feet are about hips width or a mat's width, I should say, apart, nice and wide, so that my left knee can fall to the inside of right foot and vice versa. And you might explore this hands-free option. So now we bring a little bit more balance into the equation, and you can explore what it feels like to open your wings and curl into center as we transition from side to side. Beautiful. And I'll invite you to come back through to center and then to roll all the way down onto your back. Arriving here, we're going to find that same movement of the legs, new position of your torso, feet wide to the edges of your mat still. And then as knees fall to the right, maybe reaching fingers overhead or even slightly to the left, and then switching sides. But mostly, this is a very personal practice, right? Finding how, as you shift your knees side to side in this supine deer shape, that you're kind of waking up perhaps some instinctual, sensory driven movement, full body stretch. What feels good to you here? Maybe a sound or a sigh, that matches the feeling in your body. And if there's little aches, you can groan it out. Oh. And then to center. So you might keep your feet wide again, but this time just knock your knees in. So knees can fall and rest towards each other, maybe palms resting on your belly. We'll call this broken bridge, and a nice soft place to rest for a moment. Resting, receiving, softening any unnecessary holding in your jaw or forehead or shoulders. And when you, or if you feel ready to continue, I'll invite you to toe heel your feet so that now they're hip widths or so apart. And then to draw your right knee in, maybe clasping hands around your right shin. And you can keep your left leg bent, or you might extend your left leg long against the floor here along your mat. That's up to you, and you can find stillness, or you might find some gentle circular movements once again in your right hip. Good. And you might even curl nose towards knee, lifting your shoulders. You might even lift left foot off the earth for just a moment, pressing right shin into your hands, resisting with your hands, just feeling a little bit of that waking up. You might even shake here, and then settle it back down. This next one is a total option. It's a bend of your left knee, drawing left foot towards your right hip. It feels a little pretzel-y, and hopefully it feels a little good, right? So you can then take your right hand on your right shin and maybe draw your right knee towards your right shoulder a little bit. And very likely feel this along the outside of your left leg, maybe IT band or top of the quadricep. You could even send your left fingertips overhead, stretching long into that left side body and so as. Now, if this was one that your body says, ooh, I don't like that, we're not here long, so come on out and we'll switch sides. Left knee in, right foot to the earth. And you can stay just like this, maybe some circles into your left hip, or maybe extending your right leg long. You've got it. Well done. Mm. Now you can stay in this soft shape, or you might begin to lift forehead towards knee, pressing knee into hands, feeling that resistance with your hands, maybe right heel lifts. And just give that a little bit of an active resistance in this shape. Maybe a little shake happens. Okay, and then let's settle it back down. And this time it's right knee that bends, right foot towards left hip. You can even use your hand to get it there. I like to do that. And then left hand on left knee, and maybe even that right arm overhead. So you can find movement, stillness, even a little rocking or shaking. So beautiful. And we will soften it out. So let's unwind that right leg and both feet can come to the floor here. So maybe a little wiggle. We'll prepare to come into a little bit of core awakening here. So to start, I'll invite you to send both of your feet long and to cross your right ankle over your left. And in this shape, maybe stretching arms overhead, and you can go a little side to side, a nice full body stretch. And then hands behind your head and hugging legs towards each other, lifting through your head and shoulders. Inhale as we lower, exhale to lift. Feeling this connection to your midline, to your core. Really feeling how the squeeze in the legs is supportive as we wake up. That sense of inner strength and connection to your center. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And then we'll lower down here. And as a transition, we're going to bring the legs bent and up. But if that's hard to do, dragging your feet with them crossed, uncross and make this transition. But we'll come back, right ankle crossed over the left. Hand behind the head once again, and exhale as we draw to center, and inhale as we broaden out. I like to think of this like a little clamshell. And, if you've ever picked up um, a live clam, they are really, really strong, right? Just that feeling that you could just glue everything together as perhaps you touch elbows to knees. No one could pull you apart. And when you reach and open, you get to decide that range of motion. If you want to bring the feet forward or keep it still rather close in, listen to your low back. One more like this. And then lowering through your upper body for a moment taking right ankle over your left thigh, and then we'll cross your body. So taking left elbow towards right knee, exhaling as you lift, inhale to lower. Beautiful. Back through to center. And before we go to side two, let's find a little figure four stretch here. So you can take your hands behind your left thigh or maybe on your left shin. And you might find stillness as you draw legs towards your chest, or you might find some circular motion once again. Lovely. Okay, so let's explore this whole little sequence on the second side. This time, left ankle crossed over the right, and explore for yourself. You might keep the feet flexed, you might point your feet, different sensations go on there, right? We'll start with that stretch, bringing both arms over your head, side to side, reach, reach, reach. And then behind your head, and exhale as we lift. And the range of motion is rather small here, right? But you might begin to start, sense after side one that we've built a little heat in the low core. And then lowering down. You can use your hands here. Sometimes it's nice to grip onto your mat for a transition to lift your legs. However you'd like to get into this clamshell, hands behind your head once again, and knees and elbows can stick together and then open up. You can imagine that there's little magnets on your elbows and knees and poop, right? And sometimes when we have really strong magnets, it's like we can't pull them apart. So maybe go for that feeling for just a moment. And then we'll open it back up. Just a few more. And then we'll lower it down, taking left ankle on the outside of your right thigh. You can kind of find that position. You can use your hands to get there if you need to, and then right elbow to left knee. Sorry, it's left ankle on right thigh. I think I said that wrong. It's all right. All opportunities to learn. Okay, right elbow, left knee, figure four. Good, just a few more here. Waking up into side body and oblique. That's going to be a nice central focus for us today. And back down. Let's thread the needle here, taking a supine figure four, hands behind right thigh or shin, stillness or movement up to you. Coming back to breath. All right. Very beautiful. Let's unwind the legs, planting your feet, and maybe just a few little bridge rolls, just rolling hips and spine off the earth, maybe hands up overhead, and roll it back down. You can even arch your spine at the bottom. Integrating into that spinal wave once again, and down to the earth. And from here, feet off the earth, maybe hands behind your knees. And if it serves you, a few rock and rolls on your spine. Beautiful. Maybe even finding a little balance point. Whoa, balancing into a little Navasana, a little boat pose, and rock and roll, and maybe a little balance. You can clap your feet, my Pilates friends. Get one more time. Little balance, maybe hands-free. Oh, do the whole thing hands-free. Why not? Let's do it. Let's honor a little Joe Pilates here. Whoa. Okay, up and over your shins. Let's find a tabletop and let's find a little free flow. Your body, your sensation, your instinctual movement. How does your body want to wake up? Imagine your favorite animal just waking up from a nap, right? And maybe your animal says, but I want to go back to sleep. And so we'll flop it down. Okay. You get to honor where your energy level is. I offer these practices in the morning, but my European friends, for you, you're taking this at, 4 or 5 p.m. So you might be flopping on the floor right now and listen to your body. Okay. I'm going to offer a little guided movement here, and you can always adapt and shift it however you'd like to. First guided movement is to curl our toes under, set our hips towards our heels. Oh, hello, bottoms of the feet. Maybe walk your hands a little closer to your knees, and we are in toes pose. So you can even reach around, spread the toes if you like. We're not here very long, but a little greeting and connection to the fascia and the bottoms of the feet, around the toes. You might even turn your fingers back and greet some of that fascia in your wrists, a little stretch. Nothing forced and certainly nothing painful. Let it feel good. Okay, not too long there. We're going to untuck the toes. And if it feels okay, and if it's possible, maybe sitting on your heels now. This might be plenty, or you might want a little more, which might include lifting left knee, lifting right knee, and waking up through the fronts of your ankles. I love this one. It feels so good. And maybe you even lift both knees at the same time, and you can wiggle or rock a little bit. And if you're going, nope, no thanks, we're not here too long. Come on out. Come on out back through to cat-cow. In our cat-cow, you'll kind of greet the front of your shins once again. So this time maybe lifting head, tail, and exhale, pressing into the tops of your feet, lift your knees. And lower down, inhale, and exhale. And lowering down one last time, inhale. Maybe lift your knees. We are balancing even in this shape. Okay, back down. Okay, and from here, invitation to take your right leg behind you. And exhale, knee underneath your chest here. We'll expand, maybe add on, reaching left arm forward. And exhale, elbow and knee together. Again, inhale. And exhale in. This time, inhale, maybe bending right knee, maybe sending left arm back. Beautiful place to explore. Maybe you even take hold, left hand to right ankle and give it a little kick. Doesn't matter if you reach or not, you can intend in that direction. And we're not here too long. We'll send left hand down, listen carefully, right knee towards right shoulder, all the way around until right foot comes to the earth. Okay. From here, this is perhaps where you want a little pillow under your left knee if that is supportive for you. So you can find that if you'd like, or a little blanket there. So as we lift through the upper body, we're in a lunge, and you might explore this for just a moment, just kind of coming in and out, reading left hip flexor. And if you didn't land that right foot exactly where you want it, shift and adjust, create the shape that feels just right. But here's our exploration. And some of you may have done this with me once before. We're going to find a funky balance, okay? So maybe right heel lifts off the floor. Maybe you lean a little bit into your left knee or shin and right foot lifts off the floor. Now we are going to use our hands here. Whew. It's like you're that circus tightrope walker, and we're going to just find a little bit of balance on one shin. Whoa, how weird is that? Okay, right foot back to the earth. We're not there too long. Maybe blocks are handy for this if you want, or hands to floor, or hands to right knee, maybe lifting left knee off the earth for a moment. So once again, the left toes are untucked. So I'm waking up through the front of your left foot and ankle. Maybe without blocks, lifting, sending your arms back. Just feeling that shape, feeling the potentiality that's right here. And we'll lower down, not there too long. Okay. From this lunge shape, I invite you to take left shin back to turn your shape, okay? So now, right leg, 90-90, left knee underneath your left hip, and a few reaches toward the right. Just breathe and stretch and greet your left side body, and maybe a little contraction in the right side body. And then up and around and over. Left hand can plant, maybe lengthen right leg. Right arm can come up overhead, or reaching in the direction of the crown of your head. You can simultaneously ground into the outer edge of your right foot. Beautiful place to stay. Or adding on, lifting right leg, right foot off the earth. Maybe adding on, right elbow, right knee can greet each other, and then stretch, reach. And exhale, contract. And inhale, expand. And exhale, draw it in. And inhale, expand, bending right leg, right arm can reach around. Maybe you clasp right ankle or foot. Doesn't matter if you don't, you can intend in that direction. Just a little stretch here. And re-reaching through the right leg, right arm. Now listen carefully, rotating through your right wrist, palm rotating, hand rotating, lifting you all the way up into gate. A little stretch over your right leg. And a little change here as we lift right foot towards the ceiling, flexing the toes up, maybe turning towards your right toes like you were going to kiss your right toes, and then left arm all the way up around into tabletop towards the back of your mat. Okay, playful flow, reorienting new front of your mat. Okay, from this shape, let's find it all on side two. Okay, sending left leg back, and exhale, left knee under your body. Inhale to reach, maybe adding on, sending right leg, right arm forward, and exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. This time, bending left knee, reaching right arm back, maybe staying here, maybe staying with those cross crawls, or perhaps taking a hold of ankle or foot, giving a little reach, a half bow. Follow what feels good. And slowly sending right hand down. Listen carefully. Left knee towards left shoulder. And eventually left foot to the earth. We'll lift up into a low lunge and just finding your orientation in this shape for a moment. You might come in and out. If you wanted those blocks, you might bring them around to the new front of your mat. You've got options here. Our first option is to lift the left heel And second option is to lift the left foot all together. And whoa, a little bit of balance play right here. Now we're not too far from the earth. And guess what? If you fall out of it, fine, right? You're going to be okay. So just exploring all of the intricate engagement that happens around your core to sustain this balance, and then replant the foot. From there, maybe leaning forward, maybe blocks under your hands, maybe lifting up onto the top of your right foot and settle back down. Release the toes. Let's do it again. Lifting up, maybe sending your arms back behind. And then to the earth. This time, right shin back. So we're in a kind of little Captain Morgan shape here. We've got a bent left knee and right knee under your hip, and some stability with your right leg back. And then into the side body we go. Stretch, contract. These can be down, forward, or up. Beautiful. Up and around. Right arm is going to take us all the way across into a modified side plank. So we've got our right knee on the earth and pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Left fingertips can go up towards the ceiling or maybe reaching in the direction of the crown of your head. A few breaths, just greeting the long line of your body. And you might shift the weight into right hand, right knee, maybe left foot comes off the earth, great place to stay. Maybe you draw left elbow and knee together, contract, inhale, expand, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Inhale, listen carefully, maybe stay here, maybe bend left foot, maybe reaching around with right hand to clasp foot or ankle in a little half bow. We're not here long. And we unwind back into modified extended side or modified side plank. We're going to use left wrist here, rotating hand around the wrist, letting it lift us all the way up around into gate. Into gate. Enjoy this shape. The gates we're opening here are the side bodies, and you can think of those as access points to the heart. Now, maybe turning left knee, left toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe we're greeting in that direction. Fingertips can come to earth or left toes. We're not here long at all. Up and around all the way over. And we come into our tabletop to the original front. Okay, back to the front of your mat. Okay, one last little integration flow here from table, and then we're going to rest for a moment. So our integration is to gaze to the left and to gaze to the right. You're gazing over your shoulder. Maybe you lift the opposite toes. It's like the tiger chasing its tail, okay? So you can let this be a little dynamic if you'd like. And it can even accompany a little bit of a Kapalabhati breathing pattern. So it'll look and sound like this. You can, of course, be slowing it all down, honoring your rhythm. And then from here, nice wide-kneed child's pose. Hips to heels, perhaps walking your hands out in front, maybe resting your forehead to the earth. And all of those twists and turns and balancing and clasping and bowing We just let that settle down for a moment. Beautiful. As you rest here, maybe look for little signs of growth and celebrate how far you have come. And if you're ready, when you're ready to move on, the invitation is to come back through table, maybe curl your toes under and pressing back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And this is another free flow moment. So follow your instincts. How do you want to greet this shape? Maybe bending one knee and the other, bending both knees. Beautiful. You look great. All righty. And then from our downward dog, maybe joining me in this invitation to turn your heels one side and the other. And notice as you keep the hands pretty firmly grounded here, how this wakes up sensation in your side bodies. Our little somatic focus for the day. Good. And you might even explore that side to side, but then bend the knees. And it's just a playful way of adapting that, and notice what changes with this. And if your upper body gets a little tired, we're not here too long either. So coming back to center, walking the feet wide, edges of the mat, and then beginning to bend knees as you walk your hands back to your feet, and we'll arrive in a little low squat at the back of your mat, malasana. And in our frog squat here, it's going a little side to side. Whenever I say be your favorite animal just waking up from a nap, I don't know if anyone is ever imagining the frog, but that could be a cool favorite animal, couldn't it? It will be a favorite animal waking up in our hips. Okay, we're going to go from frog all the way up to standing. So if your hips and knees are saying, my frog is here, or even here, all is well and good. But from whichever version of your squat you're taking, I'm going to invite you to use your fingertips and imagine again that child that's just learning how to stand and pressing into their legs, and oh my gosh, right? Maybe they're holding on to the couch or to the back of a chair. And let's explore it again, because just like the child, we have to do things repetitively to really get it in muscle memory. So finding that reach, pressing into your feet. Whoa, there's a whole world out there. And let's come to the earth. Gather, gather, gather. Really feel all of those seeds we've planted and how that supports your growth. Lifting all the way up. We've done it. Beautiful. From our standing shape, we're going to do a little bit of exploration and balance. So, invitation is to take your feet like the crooked mat. Okay, good. Take your feet hips width or maybe even slightly wider apart. Okay. And then to roll a little on your ankles, side to side. So you might feel how you are rolling to the outside of one foot and the inside of the other foot. And you can also roll the other way. So we can roll to the outer ankles and inner ankles. Outer ankles, inner ankles. Beautiful. And we can also roll on the feet forward and back. Woo. Forward and back. Lifting heels, lifting the balls of the feet. Whoa, what does it take to balance there for a moment? Huh. Okay, now, new balance. All right, not the shoes. Left leg, nice, strong, grounded. Right leg, we're going to perhaps lift off the ground. No foot on the ground, okay? Now, here's the play. Left knee in, right knee out. Turning your hip in, turning your hip out, and in, and out. And maybe your arms want to follow the flow as you go from side to side and back to the earth. Shake out your hips for a moment. Side two. Right leg is our standing leg. Left knee in and out, in and out. And you can bend into your standing knee to support those transitions. It'll be a little easier to balance. Beautiful. And foot to the earth. Okay, another balance. Left leg's our standing leg, right foot off the earth. We're going to curl it all in and reach shooting star. Curl it all in and shooting star. If you fall, opportunity to learn. Shooting star. One more time. Contract and reach. And 2 feet to the earth. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, right leg's our standing leg. Little bend in that knee, remember, right? Helps with the balance. Contract it all in. Shooting star. Woo. Contract it all in and reach. And draw it all into center. Reach, so it's kind of like to the side, right? And I'm at an angle here. Let's curl it all in and whoop, you got it. Great. Okay, 2 feet. Let's just move that through the spine for a moment, finding some standing spinal waves. Forward and back. And side to side, like a little palm tree. And sending some love to our Florida friends in the hurricane recovery. Whew. Okay. And then maybe a little side to side, a little twisting. Let your arms swing. Ah. Wow. And back through to center. All right, let's take a little sun salutation. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. Exhale to the earth. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back, high plank. Invitation to lower knees, to lower chest all the way to the earth. And if you'd like, a few rolling cobras. You get to choose the range of motion. You get to choose how much weight in your hands. You might even explore none at all. And you might take this as an opportunity just to rest. Rest belly down on the earth. Whatever you're choosing, honoring your rhythm. And eventually, we'll meet back in table and then downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, I'll invite you to come into a little crouching tiger. Okay, some people call this false child's pose, sending hips towards heels, bending knees, knees are off the earth. And then roll this forward like a wave to the shore, forward to plank, and then back and through. And another roll to plank, and back, and rolling forward. Pausing in plank, pausing in plank. And like we did earlier in downward dog, sending heels to the right, keeping both hands grounded to start, and heels to the left. Just notice your side bodies. Heels lift through center to the right and to the left. And through center, back to downward facing dog. And your journey to the front of the mat, I'll invite a nice, slow, savoring walk all the way, feet to hands, bending knees as you arrive, finding a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Samastiti, a moment to arrive and sense and feel what's present for you now. Maybe palm over your heart, or palm to palm, or a palm over your heart and belly. And tuning in, sensing your breath, your heartbeat. And listening to how your body may be ready for more movement, or maybe wants to rest and integrate right here. If you're ready for a little more movement, we're going to combine those two balance challenges. Left foot underneath you, right foot off the earth, and knee in and out, and in and out. Maybe your arms are mimicking. And then let's draw it into center and shooting star, and to center and shooting star, and curl it all in and reach 2 feet on the earth. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Right foot grounded, left knee in and out, in and out, in and out, and curl it all in and reach and curl it all in and reach and curl. One more reach. 2 feet on the earth. Maybe shake it out. Inhale to sweep arms overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to plant. Feet to send back to the mat, downward facing dog. And we're going to roll forward to high plank. Maybe to the earth for cobra, or bending your elbows, low plank. Inhale, sweeping up, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. However you want to get there. And of course, you can skip all of that. And we meet here. From this downward dog, we will once again roll forward into plank. And sending heels to the left, listen carefully. Right hand might lift, reach up overhead and send back to the mat. Heels to the right, freeing left arm, swimming up, around, and down. We'll call this swimming side planks. Heels left, freeing your right arm up and around. You might even follow with your gaze. Heels to the right, left arm, all the way around. One more time each side, why not? Just get that all the way into your body. Okay, up and around, high plank, knees down, child's pose. Integrate, receive, arrive. Now, if child's pose is ever your non-favorite pose, like I hate when she does child's pose. Pillows under your hips, lifting your hips higher, finding any other resting pose. Puppy dog is a nice alternative. And if you don't like the name of any pose, rename it. Wisdom pose. Right? You get to choose. When you're ready, we're going to meet in downward dog again. And I really mean that, like, rest in any shape for as long as you'd like. Next little sequence is fun if you want to join, if it's right for you. From downward facing dog. Since it's my birthday weekend and I love handstands, it would be just wrong to not have one opportunity in this class. And if you're like me and you like them, you can do them. And if you don't like them, skip them. But it's a celebratory class. There's an opportunity to pounce, to bend the knees, to find your gaze, and maybe to find a little hang time. And you can do it a few times if you want, just 2 more. And guess what? If you fall out of it, it's nice to have a wall behind you. 1 more. Okay, we're going to meet at the front of the mat whenever you would like to get there. From a forward fold, a halfway lift, and lengthen all the way to stand. So we'll put several things together here for another standing flow. First is to just integrate into your body a little bit of what I'm going to call the waveform. We've been doing a lot of waving today, spinal waving and so forth. So our waving arms is a side bend from standing, pressing palms in opposite directions. Pretty simple. You get to choose where you'd like your gaze. Down, to the side, even up. And feeling, once again, that strength around your core and obliques and side bodies. And then we'll come through to center. Now, we're going to come into our balance that we did before. This time, right leg is the standing leg, left foot off the earth. And knee in, knee out, and in, and out, and in, and out, and curl it all tight. Expand, shooting star. Curl it all in. Expand, shooting star. We're going to take this as a transition into airplane. Listen carefully. Curl it all in. Expand, shooting star as upper body comes forward and left leg comes back. Bend in the right knee, and we'll transition into a crescent lunge. Really big, challenging transition. Take it, leave it, honor you. One way or another, perhaps meet here if you're going on. And a few pulses. Now, you could stay like this. Maybe you lift right heel off the earth and you pulse there for a moment. You might even bring the arms out and in and out and in. Now, we're not going to lift the whole right foot off the earth because that would be really hard, but we are going to open up to warrior 2. So take your time, finding your way into the shape. And then perhaps from here, sending your arms out, maybe lifting your right heel, maybe adding on our wave arms. Inhale as we reach away from the front bent leg, and exhale as the upper body leans towards, pressing palms in opposite directions, right arm overhead, left arm pressing forward. And again, leaning, pressing. Beautiful. Settling right heel, lifting up through 5-pointed star, turning both toes out, bending both knees, and just a little bounce. Let it go. Ragdoll through the upper body as you bounce through your legs. So good for lymph and vestibular system, and just letting something release. Not here too long. Inhale. As we lift, we're going to turn towards the back. The back. Okay. Lifting right heel. Inhale for a moment here. Exhale to the earth. Exhale to the earth. Hands to the inside of your left foot. You can slide your right toes back. And then you might pulse a little bit on your back foot, just a little rocking. You might lower right knee. You might bend through your elbows, lower through your upper body a little. You can toe heel your left foot out further to the side and keep that toes at an angle. You might even open up and reclose. You can even move through your legs a little bit in this transition. You might even bend through the right knee and tap your left ankle. Little grabbing of the dragon's tail here. One more like that. And a little playful transition, opting in or out. Right hand to plant. Left foot is a base, okay? Take them nice and wide. Right knee off the earth. Right foot is going to move forward, and tap knee and hand together and reach and tap and reach and tap. All right, let's let that go. Hands plant, left foot back to meet the right. Walk it out. And as you gaze forward towards the new front of your mat, you might choose to saunter and savor your walk there. You might pounce forward, however you would like to arrive. As we arrive at the front of the mat, or new back of the mat, or whatever you want to call it, and halfway lift and fold, we're going to come all the way to stand. Well done. Let's find our way through side two. We'll come back to the front. So this time, left leg is the base. Right leg is free to move. And in and out. And in and out. And in and out. Ooh, balance is getting harder. Curl it in. Shooting star. And exhale, contract. I saw the most beautiful shooting star when we camped in the mountains last week. It just streaked and lingered. It was so cool. And then contract. We're going to reach, we're going to make a big old transition through airplane. I promise it was not an airplane. It was really a shooting star. And with a bent left knee, stepping right foot back, we have arrived. Crescent. Finding your way, maybe hands to hips for a moment, just getting your balance. And if you're wanting a little more challenge, which some of you might say, I've had enough now, but maybe lifting your left heel and giving a little bounce here. Maybe your arms can reach and curl in and reach and curl. Doing great. And lowering left heel all the way up and into a warrior two. Settle, arrive, a little footwork to get that nice feeling that you've got a nice, broad, strong base, and we'll challenge that base, maybe lifting left heel. And we're going to press palms, wave away from the left knee and toward and away and toward. Good. Anyone shaken? Okay. Left knee can plant. Inhale through 5-pointed star. You can turn both toes out. A brief visit to horse to bounce. And if you're wanting a little challenge here, lifting left heel, lowering left heel, lifting right heel, lowering right heel, lifting both heels. Not here too long, wobble, wobble, wobble. Inhale, 5-pointed star, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Turning to the front. Right leg is forward. Just feeling your way in for a moment. Inhale. Exhale to the inside of your right foot, wiggling left foot back. You might rock on your left toes. And up to you, you can toe heel right foot out. Maybe you lower left knee. Maybe you bend through your elbows for a moment. Good. And you might even lift upper body, turn back and exhale. And I like to wiggle through the hips a little bit, send the hips back as I lean forward and then open up, maybe bend through left foot and release, maybe take hold of dragon's tail. Exhale. Hands plant. Right foot steps back to meet the left. And here we are, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From this downward facing dog, one little itty bitty short standing sequence, and then we're on the mat. Inhale, I invite you to bring right leg up overhead, maybe open. That can feel so good. And then exhale as we gaze forward, stepping right foot forward and through. Here's where a block can come in handy. So a block that will support us as we come into Trikonasana, triangle pose from the earth. So allowing yourself to find your way up and into this shape. And gaze once again, maybe up to the side, down, letting your head hang, whatever you need. That can feel so lovely. And you might find movement here, or you might prefer that stillness. Totally up to you. Here's the little challenge, the candle on the top of the cake, the top of the birthday cake. Okay, we're going to send weight into right foot. Block can come with the right hand as we come forward into a half moon. Nice support under right hand, right foot firmly on the earth. Left arm might reach overhead. Big final candle. Let's give a big birthday wish, a big celebratory moment for all that you have accomplished, how far you have already come. Maybe you stay here. Some of you might reach around and put it all together, taking a hold of left ankle, left foot. We have a little sugar cane moment here, Chapasana. And then reaching back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. We made it. Hands to the earth. Listen carefully. Inhale, reach right leg back. Exhale, right knee to right wrist for a moment here to give your right hip a little love because we've been getting into those outer hips quite a bit today. So you might start lifted and you might even use your blocks here. Squeeze everything to midline, squeezing right knee, left knee towards each other. The hips can lift up. And then maybe lowering down, a brief rest before side two. Letting your forehead be heavy, shoulders soft. And then slowly lifting up, lifting up. Sometimes it's in those moments of stillness that you go, oh yeah, I forgot to do that thing on the other side. So let's do it. Let's do it. So from here, let's lift the right leg and plant the right foot. Okay. So now, like we did on the other side, widen your stance, wide with your right foot, your left hand, and knee under and back. You can give your knee a little kiss with your right hand and back. And now we did it. Now we're even. Okay, downward facing dog. Wiggle it out, walk it out. You're doing great. Left leg to lift if you like, maybe an exploration to open. Hello, I see you. Okay, and forward and through. Block. Rounding through your right heel and rolling up. Trikonasana. Also one of my most favorite yoga shapes. Expand and reach. Maybe movement, totally up to you. And our pièce de résistance, our icing and cherry and candle at the top of the cake. We're going to send the weight into left foot. Lift, reach, expand. Notice what is required of you here to find balance, but also inner equanimity inside of a challenging shape. Maybe bending right knee, sugarcane. Imagine you're one of those candy canes hanging on a beautiful tree. And release. Step back and back and back and back. Ah, to the earth. Left leg can lift. And we're going to lower right back down into pigeon. Really, truly arresting transition into more rest. So a moment, if you'd like, to lift up, to squeeze everything to midline, and then perhaps to settle in. Ah. No options if knees for you are a challenge, and as a result, so is pigeon. You can always come to your back for figure 4, as we visited earlier. So adapting, modifying anything I offer, listen to your body. And then from this side, the invitation is to lift up enough to shift your weight into your left hip and maybe swing your right arm or right leg around. Arms and legs, it's like a game of Twister today. All righty, and then to roll all the way down onto your back. So once we get to this point in practice, you might already be flopped down into Shavasana, which is totally welcome. I will also invite an inner listening and an honoring if there's any final movements or shapes or stretches or reaches or contractions that you are seeking to feel like you are totally complete, so that when you do arrive in your final resting shape, there's nothing still speaking to you saying, oh, but you didn't attend to me yet. And I really wanted your breath. I really wanted your attention. So really give all of those nooks and crannies attention, and a final breath or a final movement as needed. Right? Maybe you want a bridge pose. I personally am seeking a little bit of a wheel. So honor your body. What brings you to a feeling of satisfaction? And when you are ready, then you can take your time, perhaps hugging everything in one last time, one last little seed pose here, bija, planting that seed as we settle into the fertile earth. And allow yourself to be fully supported as you soften and let go of the effort and embrace this receptive surrender. And you might choose to scan your body with your awareness one last time, noticing your feet, your ankles and knees, your entire legs, tailbone, pelvic bowl, all of your organs. Help you digest and receive nourishment and let go of what doesn't serve you. Honoring with breath into lungs and heart, shoulders, arms soften, hands receptive. Letting go in your neck and your throat, in the muscles of your face, around your eyes and ears. Whole head heavy. Whole body relaxed. And I invite you to stay here and receive fully this very dynamic, active practice. I will offer you the words of our poem once again, The Forest by Nikita Gil. One day, when you wake up, you will find that you have become a forest. You've grown roots and found strength in them that no one thought you had. You have become stronger and more beautiful, full of life-giving qualities. You have learned to take all the negativity around you and turn it into oxygen for easy breathing. A host of wild creatures live inside you, and you call them stories. A variety of beautiful birds nest inside your mind, and you call them memories. You have become an incredible, self-sustaining thing of epic proportions. And you should be so proud of yourself, of how far you have come from the seeds of who you used to be. So whether you choose to remain in your final resting shape or take a final transition back to sitting, it's up to you. If you are transitioning to sitting, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, wiggling your way up, curling to one side, however you would like to arrive. And with great gratitude, I celebrate that we too, as a community, have grown a forest. And I'm so grateful that you join me for these journeys. Namaste.